Hello and welcome to the Ward and Parker podcast. This is episode 2.
I thought you were just about to introduce yourself as someone else then.
I think I said it wrong. The Ward and Parker. It's Ward and Parker, the podcast. Good evening, John. How are you today?
I'm very well. I'm less American than you.
I'm sorry. I was trying to jig myself up. It's Friday afternoon, it's been a long week, and we're both quite tired, I think. So we're doing our best here to smash it, to get this out, because we're very excited.
Yeah,
and we should probably say thank you for downloading the podcast, because it's actually been an absolute ton of people have downloaded it. So thank you.
It has. I've been getting like minutely or hourly updates from Cliff, like I used to get songs from Cliff, but I don't anymore.
Oh, don't say that. I'm like a child.
I just get, oh my God, my mum's downloaded it.
You are such a...
You can edit that out.
Thanks. It's because I had the thing on the screen on my computer. It's it's in one of my tabs, so I could just refresh it every couple of days and go, oh look. So yeah, we've had quite a lot of downloads. It's really exciting.
Well,
probably more downloads than our album.
That's the thing. Yeah, I paid very little attention to it once it had gone out, because it had just gone out and I didn't expect anyone to listen to it. And then suddenly I'm getting messages going, oh my God, 50 people have listened to it. What? Really?
Don't know.
Downloaded it even. But podcasts are the thing. Yeah, people like, even my younger sister was saying she'd been listening to Louis Theroux's podcast, and I was like, what? I don't understand.
Yes. Yeah, loads of podcasts are a thing, aren't they?
Yeah, it's great. That's a good thing. I like it.
It is a good thing. It's really good. So, so thanks everybody for joining us on our little journey here and being entertained by us in some way. I believe you've got some more questions for us for later on, John, as well. Is that right?
Kind of.
You got any? Kind of. Have you made up your own questions, John?
I have. One of the main ones that keeps coming in is, how come I am so attractive? And they were just not answers. They're just not answers.
I know. It's just incredible. Okay, so you're in charge today, John. Putting you in charge. Where should we start?
Our week. How has our week been? What have we been doing? What have we been doing Ward and Parker wise this week?
Well, we've since the last podcast, we've actually been quite productive, haven't we? I've been recording guitars and banjos and vocals for quite a few bits and pieces. Mm-hmm. We're currently trying to finish off a song called 1,000 Seas, and it's nearly done. So we've got some fiddle work to do there. Mm-hmm. So we've been doing some mixing and sending that back and forth, and then we've been working on another song called Hummingbird, which was just in demo phase, although we'd been playing it live. So if you've seen us live, you probably have heard it. And so now that's got guitars and bass. It's got some bass. Well, it's got demo bass and it's got some beatbox.
Demo beatbox.
So yeah, it's been going really well. John's now got a home studio. I've got a home studio. So we're sending tracks to each other. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it, John. It's really, really quite exciting.
It is. It's actually quite a nice way to work, because
because you don't have to see my face?
I know, I miss your face. I put up a projection of your face.
Wow.
Yeah, I do. It's the only way.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and sometimes I have a little sock on my hand that pretends to be.
I hope you've got your clothes on.
It's Friday late afternoon.
Oh my God. People don't want this imagery.
No, it's true. They have to subscribe for that. That's a paywall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's. I'm not very like. I mean, I play an instrument that's hundreds of years old. I'm not very tech savvy, so it's actually not been that hard. The only thing I care about it too much, so I worry about it a lot. So then when I send things and they don't work, I think, oh my God, I'm just terrible at this. I should just burn everything. And then it's not me. Actually, it's not my equipment.
No, generally the equipment problems are mine. And I go, are you sure? Are you sure? And then I discover it's me. But never mind.
No, but it's good. And I'm loving the little setup. Dan Wild pointed me in the direction. I think I've got an arrow, like a universal audio arrow thing. And
yeah, that's good.
It's really good. And it's really straightforward. And yeah, you can be so creative. You can just chuck ideas down and play along. And yeah, I think it's definitely something that's going to stick for me if I get better at it.
Yeah, you'll actually get some more work as well because you won't be gigging. So it's very useful for you to be sending stuff. But it's great because we can try stuff out and we can send it back, and I can tell you what was not good enough and what didn't work, and you can tell me that my guitar parts aren't right or whatever. And no, it's really good. And then it's just finding the time to do the recording bit.
That is the thing. Yeah. It's having things set up so you can just walk into the room and then, whereas I don't have that set up. So I'm using my laptop for my course and my hard drive for something else. And I go in and think, well, I've got 20 minutes. It's going to take me 20 minutes to find the adapter. That means I can have a Thunderbolt 3 connection to my hard drive.
Yeah, that is really difficult. Luckily, I'm in a room. At least I've got everything here, as you can see now, because we're on YouTube, so you can see. I've got guitars over here and various instruments. There's a piano and all kinds of things.
Electric drum kit.
Electric drum kit. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's got 80s drums on it.
That's for your electronic 80s hipster band.
It's wonderful. Yeah, I'd never play it. It just sits there, unfortunately. But
Ruben must. Cliff's got a son, Ruben, and he's going to love it. Yeah,
yeah, he loves it. Yeah, but it's worth having. It's worth having sitting around. It's quite good fun. But yes, we are in the flows of recording. So yeah, we're trying to mix ourselves, and we'll get some help with that at some point as well. But yeah, it's going really well.
Yeah, I think Ben Savage has been I've been our one-man technical support team.
He's my go-to. Yeah. So I call Ben and say, please help me. Everything says no, and he says, don't do that.
Yeah. As yet, he hasn't said it's me, so that's good. Yay!
Perhaps that's why he hasn't called me this week.
Maybe.
He's going, yeah. There's problems there.
Yeah, too many bass notes. That's why Pro Tools says no.
There's too many. No, it's fine. Just a small importing problem in Pro Tools, but that'll be okay. It'll be fine. We'll work it out.
Yeah,
I've done it all in Logic now, so that sounds nice.
Does sound good.
What else have I been doing this week? I've been rebuilding a bike, which has been a total nightmare. My dad had an old 80s racing bike that I've had for ages, and it had got a bit rusty. So I've stripped it and rebuilt it. Well, almost rebuilt it. I say I haven't rebuilt it. It's in the boot of my car in bits. Oh. I had to get someone to help me with the bottom bracket, which had fallen apart.
So are you driving everywhere with the bike in the back now?
Yeah.
Is that the way you cycle?
Strava on and then bike and then drive round with the bike in the boot and then go, I had a great bike ride today. Well,
yeah. Imagine your dad's reaction when you post more miles and quicker.
No, that's a good idea.
42 miles, 12 minutes.
What? Yeah, on your old 80s bike, Dan.
Yeah, which I repaired.
Yeah, which I rebuilt with my own hands and someone else's. So, yeah, tomorrow morning I should be putting it back together. That'll be great.
Cool.
Nice. What about you, John? What's been going on in the world of John?
It's been hard here. I'm not going to lie. It's challenging caring for my mum. But in between, I mean, it makes me realise loads of things, but it made me realise just how lucky we are. Even though there's lots of bad things happening, there's so much access to great things like culture online. I mean, I watched the Laura Marling live stream, which is just impeccably recorded, beautifully shot. She was amazing, just very stripped back. There was something sad about it, but there was something beautiful about it as well. So that was amazing. And I watched a film called The County, which was great. Like I went to the cinema on my own, which is what I tend to do anyway, but without eating all the popcorn and, drinking a beer and having to walk home. So that was good. And then I'm doing a lot of studying. Every night is a class, or has been for the last 2 weeks, more or less. I'm studying with Open University. So yeah, lots of reading and lots of that sort of stuff. So it's hard to juggle it all, but
yeah, you've been flat out. Is that Laura Marling concert available, or is it gone?
Weirdly, it was available for a little bit on my screen. I don't know why, but then when I tried to watch it the next morning, it had gone. Which is a pity. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it, but I was watching a concert too. Actually, I was watching Ben and Hannah because they did a concert on. I think it was Doncaster Folk Club, and that was brilliant. That was really lovely. It was great to see them. We had beers afterwards too, so that was great. It is good to see some events online that are being well done. It's great. So I'm enjoying that. It's a shame we can't do a gig, isn't it? It's not possible.
No, it's it'd be very The only way we can do it is the way people do it, where they overdub on top. Yeah. Which just I don't know. I'm still not convinced. I've still not really seen one I like, to be honest. So
yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah,
it's kind of. I'd quite like, if we get some of these songs done, I'd quite like to make an actual music video for a release. That would be great.
Yeah, well, James Vincent McMorrow did.
We can manage that.
James Vincent McMorrow, who I went for like a total fanboy craze for, probably still am, and
obsessed.
Yeah, absolutely. He released a new song, and then they couldn't obviously make the video due to quarantine and the lockdown, and so I think it's him and his partner, and he's got his cute child in the video. It's just really, really lovely. It's just like, I mean, it's beautifully shot as well, obviously high-end cameras and stuff, but it's just really nice. It just suits the song really well. So and I'm imagining that this is quite a good time for animators and that sort of thing, to animate videos.
So. And the lyric video, that's quite a good one as well. Quite like those.
Yes.
It's quite popular.
I like those because quite often I don't understand the lyrics and I'm going, you what? Huh?
What did he say? Do you want me to do one for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll just say baby, 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 baby.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Ooh, love
baby.
You, baby.
What are you saying?
Yeah, and then a little bit more culture this morning. If I can lean over, I got this, which is a double lovely. GoGo Penguin, who me and Cliff went to see in Cambridge. And they were amazing.
Was it 2 years ago? Last year? The year before?
You know what? I think it is 2 years ago.
I think it's 2 years ago, and I think it was like October time.
That's nuts, isn't it? My God.
That was such a good gig. GoGo Penguin. We should put them in the playlist. We'll do a Spotify playlist for today as well, and I'll write down stuff. So have you listened to that album yet?
The GoGo Penguin album?
Yeah, have you actually had a chance?
Yeah, quite a few times.
Have you got a track or two maybe I can write down?
The one I shared, which was F Major Pixie, is great. But to be honest,
it's just the whole thing. You got to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, Signal in the Noise is really good as well. It's really creative, I think. I think that it's just so good to see people working in a genre like jazz that, a genre where it can be quite restrictive and they're just opening up. It's like young people are at their gigs and
young people
playing
jazz.
It's
loosely jazz dance kind of. It's got lots of dance music influences in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's cool.
They are three incredible musicians.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. It's piano, double bass and drums for those that don't know them.
But lots of effects.
They're Manchester based.
Nick, who's my friend, is the double bass player. He's Manchester based, but I think the rest might be Leeds. Not sure.
Okay.
Don't know the rest as well, but so lots of music. I mean, I think both me and Cliff have both been doing opposite ends of the Radiohead spectrum.
Yeah, I was just going to say I've been smashing some Radiohead this week because I got the book by the I've forgotten his name now, Donwood, the artist who did all the artwork. There Will Be Quiet, I think it's called.
Yeah,
his book on how he made all the artwork for Radiohead, and
that came fantastic. up on a feed you put up on Facebook about books you were reading, and then somebody recommended, "Oh, what about this?" And I was just like, "How come Cliff has not got this book?"
So I've been listening to OK Computer because I also have the triple vinyl box set of that, which is very nice, and all the artwork's nice and big. So I've been reading that, listening to that, and. It's really interesting, actually. It's opening me up a bit artistically, which is nice. Thinking about what we can do in the future. It's just seeing what other people do, really, and how they do it, and what their purpose for it is. And often, actually, there isn't any purpose, and that I quite like that concept of there not being any grand idea, just literally playing around and coming up with whatever comes out. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
I mean, it's funny because for me, Radiohead, I entered it in Rainbows, just beautifully recorded records. Like just everything about it, the bass, the drums, everything just sounds great. It's got the right end of hooky. It's kind of a rocky record. It
does sound great.
Love that record. And then they released, I think it was a DVD of them in the basement playing it all, and it was lush, and I love that record. And I've tried a few times to get into OK Computer, and I've really struggled.
I can't believe this.
I know.
I'm gonna go now.
But I'm getting there.
Such a great record.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm enjoying it more now. Like, I'm really listening to it. I think for me is that it's the tone sometimes of it's quite a melancholic record. And
it is, yeah. I suppose that was my first Radiohead record. That was my introduction to the band. So so from there I then went, because the other stuff hadn't been out, I then went backwards. Pablo Honey and the Bends. So I liked all those early, when they were a rock band, and then I loved Kid A, and then I basically stopped listening to them after that. I didn't listen to In Rainbows or anything else. It's not until now I'm sort of catching up with Amnesiac and
I'm going backwards.
And you're going the other way. So we're completely opposite ends of this. How does that work? I don't know.
It's true, because a friend of mine sent me a track. A guy called Ian Ross, who's a good bass player, great electric bass player, and he sent me a track, and it really reminded me of Divine Comedy. So I went down a route of listening to the first Divine Comedy record, short album about love. It's just beautiful record. And his lyrics and his delivery is just, I think he's like an unsung hero as a writer. And but he mentioned that Radiohead's producer after they did OK Computer, who produced OK Computer? What's his name?
I can't remember.
Nigel. I can't remember the name, but he did an album with Divine Comedy called Regeneration, and I can't stop listening to it. It's just so good. So good. So, yes, that's it. And it's just a brilliant record. And I'm not sure it got to the heights it deserved. But Divine Comedy are re-releasing everything on vinyl. Like
oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
What album was that? Say that again.
Regeneration. And it's you can really hear the kind of Radiohead thing in there, but for like similar attention to detail, the opening acoustic guitar on the first track it's just so well recorded. It's just there going, this sounds great. So yeah. So lots and lots of music. It's really good, and what would be really lovely is if people listen to this podcast were to message in and recommend records and things to check out, because
absolutely
there is so much out there and you miss so much. You just do. Like, I mean, most of my influences come from, my friends, really.
Of course.
Yeah. So,
and that's how we pass our music around to each other, isn't it? And
yes.
That's the best way. It's better than finding it on the internet and it being told, this is what you should like now if you like this.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get a very narrow outlook.
It depends if you mess with your algorithm, because with Apple Music, because it was recommending basically really obvious things that John would like, I occasionally would like put Sean Paul on or just something really random. And not listen to it, just have it, just put it on. So then it starts recommending you like something else. Really weird, really little, what they call little mix or whatever they're called. Because you liked this Rage Against the Machine record, you're like Little Mix. Oh,
right. Okay. Great. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Well, other artists for me this week has been Tori Amos, who has really, shockingly, passed me by completely, to be honest. But after you recommended it, I got her no, you didn't recommend it, but you recommended her interview. There's a great interview of Tori Amos.
Hay Festival.
It's on YouTube now, but it was from the Hay Festival, yeah. And it got me ticking for some reason, something about it. She just inspired me just by watching the interview, because really I wasn't really feeling very creative at all. And when we did the podcast before, I hadn't done any playing, I hadn't been doing anything. And then I watched that and just felt inspired to work, to start doing some things. She, the first thing that got me was her notebooks. She's got this, she pulled out her album notebook and it was huge. She's got like an A3. She was like, and here's my notebook, massive, great thing. Let me just open it up like this. I was thinking, wow, I want A3 notebooks for my albums.
I'm shocked.
I love that. And then she had 2 more notebooks. She was like, and I've got lots of little notebooks too. And she had color coding and all kinds of little messages to herself in there, going around these songs, which I just thought was great. I was like, oh yes, I need to get back into writing lyrics and ideas. And it's been really nice. And she was talking about being an artist in this time, and we're all trapped. And she was saying, it's great being an artist when it's easy, and that's all lovely. But when it gets tough, we need to become artists with a capital A. And I love that. I thought, that's really great. That's when we've got to knuckle down and keep producing music, whatever way works for us, because we need to get through this. So music will help, and we'll need to keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it does test you, doesn't it? It's like, am I supposed to be doing this? And certainly with all the events that are happening in the world at the moment, this, music can feel a little insignificant. And because you can't perform it to people really, but I love the idea of using this time to hone your craft and write songs and share ideas with people, not necessarily publicizing stuff, but
no, but it's a way of documenting it, even if it's got nothing to do with it. It will document it. When you look back, it will be, I wrote that then, and this actually means this to me because of what we were all going through at the time. So yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, really interesting. So I got her book, so I've been reading that, Resistance. You should check it out. It's not a huge book, so I managed to read the whole book in a week. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Well done.
This is a miracle for me. Yes. So well worth it, especially towards the end. She really gets into songwriting at the end of the book. And so I'm going to put in our playlist Under the Pink.
Oh, great record.
For sure. And maybe some other bits and pieces as well.
Yeah.
She's picked out songs from her and put the lyrics in the books. So I'll pick out a few bits and pieces. If you're not with
this record.
Tori. Yeah, you've got the vinyl.
I've got the 180 gram vinyl, which is half speed master cut Abbey Road.
Of course you have. Such a vinyl head.
I know. I think for me, the first two Tori Amos records, oh my God, I just loved them. I mean, since I've also loved the records that have come after, but those two ones, there was some just honesty, bravery. You know, it wasn't just this delicate singer-songwriter. It was like,
no,
bam. It's like, oh.
I always kind of thought she was really unusual and didn't think it would really ever interest me.
Yeah.
But listening to it now, I'm kind of getting into it, and it's mad how she just changes in the middle of a song. She'll just go completely off the wall, out somewhere else.
Yeah,
she's out there. I like it. I should be following her more carefully now.
There we go. I just realised that I hadn't put the power on my laptop.
And it was going to die.
Well, yeah. I was like, that would be...
I'm going to die.
Yeah, that would not be good. I think I've turned the right one on.
I think I need to oil my chair. It's quite creaky, isn't it?
It's quite creaky. Yeah. But I have to read a lot of books on my course, and often the books I'm reading are you know, a lot of philosophy books. But I'm reading. I downloaded a book called The Rules of Contagion by Adam. I think it's Kaczarski, and it's brilliant. It's really good. It explains. It's really scary. It's written and released just before the pandemic here, and it hints at all we don't know what the next pandemic's going to be, and etc. etc. And he talks about the R value, and he relates it to like pandemics in business, where you can kind of see. You can just chart all these things out. You can see it with like social media posts. How does, if you send a tweet out, how does it spread? And different ideas of how to spread ideas out there. It's just it's just a really interesting read. Touches on measles vaccinations, all sorts of things. It's just really easy to read as well, and just explains things clearly, and like what I've just done. But,
that sounds very useful at this time.
Yeah, really,
because it's hard to get clear answers to understand these things.
Yeah, and someone who, as far as I can tell, hasn't got an agenda. He's not selling me anything. I mean, apart from his book, but I had to buy that to read it. It is just fascinating. It's just so yeah. That's a good read, and then everything else I've read has been just hurting my head. So
yeah, I got a new book and it's hurting my head as well. I can't remember what it was called. It's hurting my head so much.
Timothy Snyder's book.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, amazing.
The Road to Unfreedom, about basically Russia. Mm-hmm. And America and Europe. Yeah, it's going to be seriously hardcore. But I'm prepared. I'm psyching myself up. I'm working my way through it.
Yeah, I think it's really. Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, you don't have to grasp every idea in a book. It's just it almost sometimes just forms that little germ of not to go on about Contagion, but it's just something. It starts something. You kind of go, oh, hang on a second, and you'll read another book, and for some reason you'll go, oh, I get the book I read 3 books ago, and that's what I love about it.
Well, yeah, Tori Amos talks about it in her book, you see, and she actually mentions Timothy Snyder. She lists a few books, and she was kind of saying that, and it's true that we can get a very lopsided view, and you never know really what you're hearing is true or whatever. And so, really, the best way to understand things is to get the book and read it based on the history of what's going on around us.
History.
So I thought it was well worth a read.
It's funny. The course I'm studying, which is like a humanities, philosophy, and psychological studies, we touch on history, and it's strange. We're on a music podcast and we're talking about history, but I think it really matters at the moment. I mean, interesting enough, in the music world, a number of record labels have changed their names. One Little Indian, which is Bjork's record, Bjork releases on. They've dropped that because of connotations like negative connotations racially. Another one has as well. The urban category has is being dropped by Universal, which is amazing. And a venue I think you and I have probably played with various people, Colston Hall in Bristol. They're finally changing their name.
Wow.
Which, to be fair to them, had been on the cards for a long time. It's not like they suddenly went, "Oh, let's change the name." But things are so challenging at the moment. You know, when you think of, and it really highlights the gaps in knowledge. Like last night in my tutorial, they were talking about Churchill, and I was just like, I just don't know anything about, and I'd been interested because obviously people had spray painted racist across the statue, and was like, why is that? Like, was he a racist? Those sort of things. And there was a little BBC film about Churchill, villain or hero. And, like all these things, amazingly complicated, like, did some good, did terrible things, partly responsible for an incredible famine, like devastating famine in India, and set the army on Welsh miners, like not a good person, and definitely reflected the kind of, he was out of date even for his time racially, like his language. And but then he did, according to this documentary, his opinions did change. So it's really difficult, I don't know. For me, removing statues or naming roads or all those things, fine. But it's the next stage. We need to know how. I think there needs to be a huge change in democracy.
I think it's the education, isn't it?
Yeah,
essentially.
Exactly.
Crucially, it's what we get taught in school that plays a massive part. I think what we understand, because we don't get taught any of that stuff at school.
No. We have Black History Week or whatever it is. It's like, what is that?
No, it's just all the history, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you have to watch a movie on it.
Yeah, totally. And because it's funny, mainly because a lot of the music, I mean, as a double bass player and one that listens to jazz music, a lot of music I was brought up and listened to and studied is by Black musicians. And, and you in awe of of Black musicians. It's like, my God, it's incredible. I find it. It's just, there's a lot to process, I think. There's a lot to process with it all, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. We've just gone over the half an hour.
Cliff has definitely been working hard. I've just been struggling to get my mum to eat. So just sit there going, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, really strange. Yeah, I'm going to have to find like exercises to like not let it bother me. But at the moment, it's not working. It bothers me.
It's so difficult.
Yeah.
Bit of yoga.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yoga whilst feeding my mum. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's, So, it's, we're both pretty tired.
We are pretty tired. That is the hard thing. Because for me, my time to do music is basically about 8:30 by the time Ruben's gone to bed. And then often by the time we get to 8:30, I'm pretty much wiped out.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to kind of keep yourself psyched up for then. So right, let's go and work.
Absolutely. And don't you find it's funny during the lockdown, at the beginning of the lockdown, I thought, oh my God, the 9-Barrow tour when I was supposed to open for Robert Plant with Son of John, all these things just disappeared, and you were like, I've got so much free time, I'm going to practice 4 hours a day. And actually for the first few weeks, I think if I could have gotten away with it, I'd have just sat in my pants. Like I just didn't do anything productive.
Well, I think that's fine, but the problem is that during that time you were probably just sitting there going, oh, I should be working. I'm not actually enjoying sitting in your pants.
No. I mean, my pants are pretty, anyway. Cut that bit out. And then bit by bit got into my practicing, and now I find I don't have enough time, and so I get up at 6. I've got a lot of mum duties, and then by 10 o'clock at night, I know I've got to go to bed, but I also know that I was supposed to record double bass on this, or I was supposed to respond to an email.
Yeah. now you've asked me to do recording. Now you've got it. And now I'm going, have you done that recording? Did you download that? Have you done that? I've sent you this. And you're going, yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with WeTransfer because it tells you.
It tells me. I know. It catches you out. I actually caught a student out this week.
Oh, no.
So have you been practicing with the downloads? Oh, yeah, I've gone through that. Oh, right. Okay. Let's hear it then. And then obviously they didn't know even how to use WeTransfer. No. So they hadn't downloaded it.
Bless.
I didn't give them a hard time or anything. We just got on with it.
Yeah. Oh, man. But it is hard to be like productive, but also at the same time not overly so. I mean, yeah.